Hello, dear students. Today, our topic is basis of classification. The first subtopic is need for classification. Our planet Earth is home to a variety of plants and animals. They are of different shapes and sizes, from the microscopic organisms like bacteria and viruses to the large coconut trees and animals like the elephants, giraffes, and whales in the ocean. Their numbers are so vast that it is a very difficult and almost impossible task to study them in detail unless they are classified and grouped. What is classification? It is the arrangement of plants and animals into groups based on their similarities. It is nothing but categorization. Living organisms differ from one another in their external appearances, size, nutrition, patterns, habitat, color, etc. The variety of living organisms found on the earth is called biodiversity. We also find a lot of similarities among them. These similarities help us to put them into different groups. It is estimated that about 8.7 million species of living organisms have been identified and named till now. However, many scientists believe that only a small portion of the total species on Earth has been identified. If they are grouped conveniently, their study becomes easier, we can identify them correctly, and we will be able to understand their origin, their evaluation from simple to complex, and also the relationships that exist between each organism. Classification also supplies us with information about living organisms in different geographical areas. Second subtopic is ways of classification. Dichotomous key. Similarities and differences exist among everything: materials, plants, animals, living organisms. Classification allows scientists a systematic and easy way to study organisms. One of the tools used to identify and classify organisms based on their similarities and differences is the dichotomous key. A key has a series of statements that lead you to identify the correct name of an unidentified thing or organism. Dichotomous means two parts. There are two choices in each step with characteristics that describe the unidentified organism. You find the answer to identify a species by using a series of questions with the two possible answers. The correct answer is the choice that best describes the unknown organism. Based on the choice, you move to the next set of statements and then again to the next till finally you are able to identify the unknown organism. Some of the characteristics of a dichotomous key are as follows. First one, a single feature that easily differentiates a group is considered. Number 2, a character is identified to divide the group based on whether it is present or absent. Number 3, the second step is continued till only one item is left at the end. Next subtopic is classification of animals. The following flowchart will explain the classification of animals, in which the first point, based on the presence or absence of a backbone, we can divide them into vertebrates and invertebrates. Number 2, vertebrates can further be divided into warm blooded and cold blooded based on their ability to regulate their body temperatures. They can also be classified further based on the presence or absence of scales, feathers, hair, etc. Third point, the invertebrates in turn can be further grouped based on the presence of the number of joined legs or absence of legs. Fourth point, invertebrates with no legs can be grouped into those that are worm like and those that are not. Next subtopic is classification of plants. The following flowchart will explain the classification of plants, in which first point, based on seed production, plants are grouped into those that produce seeds and the ones that don't produce seeds. Number 2, depending on the nature of their body, the non-flowering plants are further classified into algae, ferns and mosses. Number 3, flowering plants with seeds are further classified into plants with naked seed and those with covered seeds. The covered seeds can then be grouped into monocotyledons and the dicotyledons depending on the number of dicotyledons depending on the number of cotyledons. Next, importance of classification. Why is classification so important to us? Classification gives us an idea about diverse forms found on the earth. First one, it helps us identify an organism correctly. Number 2, it provides us with information about the origin and evolution of an organism. It also helps us study different plants and animals, their features, similarities and dissimilarities. Fourth point, it provides information about interrelationship between different categories of organisms. Fifth point, it helps in understanding how complex organisms must have evolved from simpler ones. Sixth point, it provides the information about living things in different geographical regions. Next, history of classification. Scientists have been classifying living organisms based on different categories for a very long time. Point number 1, the Greek thinker Aristotle was one of the first to classify organisms based on how complex they were into different levels: plants, animals, humans. He also classified animals into two groups: those that had red blood and those that did not, and even according to their habitat, that is, whether they lived on land, water, or in the air. Number 2, Theophrastus, a student of Aristotle, classified plants on their basis of their stem structure. Number 3, Carolus Linnaeus in 1758 made a two-kingdom classification where he placed all living organisms into two large kingdoms, namely Plantae and Animalia. Fourth point, in 1866, Ernst, Ernst Haeckel added a third kingdom called Protista, in which he placed single-celled organisms, the protozoa. Fifth point, in 1969, an American ecologist, R.H. Whitaker, proposed the five kingdom classification based on the cell structure, mode, and source of nutrition. The classification has been accepted by all scientists worldwide. The next most important topic is five kingdom classification. The five kingdoms proposed by Robert Whitaker. They are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. R.H. Whitaker used the following criteria as the basis for his classification. Number 1. How complex the cell structure was, prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Second point, the mode and source of nutrition, autotrophic and heterotrophic, body organization, unicellular or multicellular. Last point, evolutionary relationships. Next subtopic is from the five kingdom classification. General characteristics of Monera. These organisms do not have a true or a well defined nucleus. Number 2. They do not possess membrane bound cell organelles. Number 3. They are primitive unicellular organisms. Number 4. Their mode of nutrition is either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Number 5. Organisms like bacteria, cyanobacteria, mycoplasma, and blue-green algae belong to Monera. Number 6. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria also belong to this kingdom. Number 7. Many of these organisms cause diseases in humans, plants, and animals. Next subtopic is bacteria. Anton van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch scientist, discovered bacteria in 1676. Leeuwenhoek named the bacteria animalcules as they were the first formed organisms in the world. The study of bacteria is a branch of science called bacteriology, a branch of microbiology. Anton van Leeuwenhoek was called the father of microbiology. Microbiology is the study of microorganisms. Bacteria have different shapes. They can be spherical, rod, spiral, and comma shaped. Uses of bacteria. Lactobacillus in combination with yeast is used in the preparation of cheese, vinegar, and yogurt. Certain bacteria are used to separate fibers of jute and hemp. Bacteria can break down waste material and help recycle matter. They are also used in tanning of leather. They are helpful in agriculture. Next subtopic is harmful effects of bacteria. Bacteria are harmful too. They cause many diseases in plants, animals, and humans. Some of the diseases caused by bacteria in humans are tuberculosis, scarlet fever, typhoid, cholera, pneumonia, tetanus, etc.